Welcome back to another lesson in MCR3U. Today we'll be looking at adding and subtracting rational expressions. Okay, so here for the minds on questions, it says determine the lowest common denominator for each pair of rational expressions. Okay, so when we're looking at the lowest common denominator, the one thing that some students make when looking at the lowest common denominator is that they simply just multiply the two values at the bottom. So for example, in this question, they might just multiply 6 by 15 and multiply 15 by 6. However, that is not the lowest common denominator. In this situation, the lowest common denominator would be 30. And here the lowest common denominator is 30, so we'd multiply by 6 by 5. So whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And here we would multiply y by 2 and 15 by 2 as well. So here we see that we would get 5x over 6 and 2y over 30. Okay, so here, again, we're given 3 over 4x plus y and 2 over 5x minus 2. In this situation, our lowest common denominator would be 4x plus 1 and 5x minus 2. And so here we're going to multiply. So here we have a 4x plus 1, and the lowest common denominator, we also need 5x minus 2. So multiply this by 5x minus 2 and 5x minus 2. So again, what we do to the bottom, we'll do to the top. And here we want to multiply by 4x plus 1 and 4x plus 1. So that will leave us with 3 times 5x minus 2 over 5x minus 2, 4x plus 1, and on the other expression, we'll get 2, 4x plus 1 over 5x minus 2, 4x plus 1. Okay, so let's look at this example here. So it says x over 5 plus 2x over 5, and it says to simplify and state any restrictions. So here we already have a common denominator, so we can just simply put the numerator together. Here it will give us x plus 2x over 5, which will be 3x over 5. The same thing for b. Again, we already have a common denominator of x squared. In this situation, our restriction, x cannot be equal to 0. So here we can put it all together. So 2 minus 5x minus, and remember, the common mistake here is that we would just write negative x minus 3, but it's negative the entire x minus 3. So we want to make sure to put that in brackets over x squared. So here we would get 2 minus 5x. Now we can distribute the negative into both the x and the negative 3. So we have negative x plus 3 over x squared. Here, that's equal to 2 minus 5x minus x plus 3 over x squared. Simplify that, be 5 minus 6x divided by x squared. And our restriction is x cannot be equal to 0. Okay, for c here, we have 2x squared over x minus 2 minus x squared plus 4 over x minus 2. So again, I already have a common denominator of x minus 2. So we can rewrite this as 2x squared minus x squared plus 4 Remember, don't forget the brackets, over x minus 2. And here, our restriction, x cannot be equal to 2. Again, our restrictions, we're looking at the denominator or the value that would make the denominator equal to 0. So here it'd be x is equal to 2, so x cannot be equal to 2 here. Here we can expand, put the negative into both the x squared and the 4. And here we'll have 2x squared minus x squared minus 4 over x minus 2. Here, if we collect the like terms, we have x squared minus 4 over x minus 2. Here, again, this is a difference of squares. This means here we have x minus 2, x plus 2 divided by plus 2 divided by x minus 2. So the x minus 2 will cancel out. And here we'll just be left with x plus 2 as our final answer. Okay, so let's look at D here. So D has x over 3x minus 6 minus 2 over 2x plus 4. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to factor out common factor from the 3x minus 6 and the 2x minus 4. So here, if we rewrite this as x over, we'll factor out a common factor of 3. So leave us with x minus 2 minus 2 over, and we'll factor 2 here, x minus 2. And so we can see here that our lowest common denominator will be 6x minus 2. And so 6x minus 2. So in the first expression, we're going to need to multiply by 2, both the numerator and denominator. The second expression, we're going to need to multiply by 3 to get it. So to the lowest common denominator of 6x minus 2. Here we'll get 2x minus 6 over 3 over 6x minus 2. So here we can't just cancel out the 2. That's another common mistake that students make occasionally. So again, you can't cancel out the 2 and 6 here because there's a negative sign that's in between the 2x minus 6, so that's considered one single term. So what you have to do first is you have to factor out the 2. So we have 2 bracket x minus 3 over 6x minus 2, and now we can cancel out here. So here we cancel out the 2 over 6, which leaves us with 1 over 3. So here, our final answer is x minus 3 over 3x minus 2. Okay, so let's look at this example here. So again, this is x over x minus 1 plus 3x over x minus 2. And in this situation, our lowest common denominator will be equal to x minus 1, x minus 2. And so for the first expression, we're going to have to multiply by x minus 2. And what we do to the top, we do to the bottom. And in the second expression, we're going to multiply this by x minus 1 and x minus 1. So here, once we do that, we'll be left with x times x minus 2 plus 3x x minus 1 all over x minus 1 times x minus 2. And we'll distribute this in. So we'll distribute the x into the x minus 2 and the 3x to the x minus 1. So here we'll be left with x squared minus 2x plus 3x squared minus 3x over x minus 2, or x minus 1, x minus 2. So here we can collect the like terms. So x squared and 3x squared will give us 4x squared, and negative 2x minus 3x will give us negative 5x over x minus 1, x minus 2. Again, you can factor out the x here to give you x bracket 4x minus 5 over x minus 2, x minus 1. But here, that doesn't simplify any further. So this answer will do. Okay, and let's look at this last question here. This last question gives us x plus 1 over 2x squared minus 7x plus 6 minus x minus 3 over 2x squared minus x minus 3. So the first thing you want to do is you want to see if you can factor the expression. You want to see if you can factor the expression in this situation in the denominator first. So if we factor out the expression, we'll be given x plus 1 over, so here 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. Factor that out, we'll get 2x minus 3 and x minus 2. Here we have x minus 3 over 2x minus 3, x plus 1. And so here we see that our lowest common denominator will be 2x minus 3, x minus 2, and x plus 1. Okay, so for the first expression, we want to multiply that by x plus 1. So we're quote unquote missing here. And in the second expression, we're going to multiply that by x minus 2. So we can rewrite this as x plus 1 times x plus 1, which would be x plus 1 squared minus x minus 3, x minus 2. And that's all over the lowest common denominator of 2x minus 3, x minus 2, x plus 1. Okay, so here we can write our restrictions. So again, x cannot be equal to 3 over 2, x cannot be equal to 2, and x cannot be equal to negative 1. Here, actually, in the second example, I didn't write a restriction, so again, these restrictions would be x cannot be equal to 1 or 2 here. Okay, so back to this question here as well. So here, again, if we look at this, x cannot be equal to 3 over 2, 2, and negative 1. So here we can expand our equation. So here we'll have x plus 1 squared, which will give us x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus an x, again, x squared minus 5x plus 6. Remember, the negative is on the outside of this entire expression here, and then all over 2x minus 3, x minus 2, and x plus 1. So here we'll distribute the negative into the equation. So that'll give us x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus x squared plus 5x minus 6. Here we see that our x squares can cancel out. And again, all over our denominator of 2x minus 3, x minus 2, x plus 1. So here we'll simplify, collect the like terms. We'll get 7x minus 5 over 2x minus 3, x minus 2, x plus 1.